Hello, we are talking about the Facebook algorithm today. And I promise you, I know that's a scary, scary thing. Like this whole idea of the algorithm, it seems so technical and all of these things. I promise you it is not. I am the least technical person you are ever going to meet, ever. So I promise we're going to keep this in simple, easy to follow and understand words. So I'm going to start with this. How do you feel about the algorithm? Like when I say Facebook algorithm, what are the words and the thoughts and the ideas that come to mind? Like what does it make you think of or feel when you think of that? I recently did a post in my Facebook group, in the Get on Camera Facebook group, and asked people to drop GIFs or GIFs. I say GIF because Jif is a peanut butter, but and it was hilarious. You guys came up with some absolutely spectacular GIFs around how you feel about the algorithm, and most of it was things like confused, frustrated, like super technical, maybe a little, even some conspiracy theory stuff around it. What else came up? It was generally in that space. So I'm guessing that's what you're feeling now, or what you're going to say now about the algorithm. But here's what I want to make sure you understand, or that you get from a concept perspective. You're never going to understand this thing. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of people that work at Facebook that are coding this algorithm. There are machines and computers, and like I just imagine just like this row of these big servers all making this algorithm work. You're never ever gonna understand it or figure it out. There's too many people working on it to feel like you can outthink them or outsmart them or out any of that. So what I think is most important that you get is that understanding the concept behind the algorithm, and more than anything, how do you put it to work for you? How do you begin to benefit from that algorithm? That's what we're going to talk about today. You're going to learn how to master this thing in a way that helps you use it to your benefit, to help you get more out of it. If you're not going to get it to go away, it's going to be there. So we might as well make the best use of the time that we have with it, or see it as a tool that can actually help us rather than this dreaded thing that is getting in our way. Okay. So today, that is what we're going to talk about. That's what we're going to spend time on today. Once you can understand this and get how it all works, I'm telling you, life will be different inside of Facebook. You will feel better about it. I mean, there are many times where I go, oh, wait a minute, I can use the algorithm to help me with this. I can use the algorithm to solve this problem for me. And it is a wonderful, awesome, amazing thing. So I hope that you will find the same today. I'll ask you here at the end to see if we did that. If you are new to me, I know we've got some new members inside this community, new followers, for those of you watching on YouTube. My name is Jamie Hain. I am a video and growth coach. I will share that it's probably, we're somewhere between a year and a half and 2 years ago. I don't know what the right numbers in there, but generally speaking, that my Facebook group, the Get on Camera group, was dead. Completely dead. I was almost to the point of shutting the whole thing down and walking away from it. I'm so glad I didn't. But I had this moment of clarity where I realized I'm not putting into place all the things that I know and I have learned. And I have spent thousands and thousands of dollars on coaches and programs and all of that to understand and to learn Facebook and to learn this algorithm and to kind of figure out how to make it work for me. And what I've identified is there are really these 6 strategies inside of a Facebook group in particular. Think of them like gears. You've got to get all of the gears turning in order to move the whole group forward. If you are only focused on one, and honestly, that one is oftentimes content, that whole machine's not going to go very fast if only one is turning. You got to get all of them churning and burning, okay? And this algorithm is kind of a foundational element underneath all of it. It's the base that you've got to understand for all of those parts and pieces to sort of make sense. So today we are going to talk about the concept of the algorithm. We're going to talk about Facebook as an ecosystem. We're going to talk a little bit about content. I'm going to say some things you might not like so much in that content space, but we're going to go there. And then we're going to end up with, so what? What do I do with all of this new knowledge? What changes do I make? What do I do different as a result of that? So hopefully you're in with me and you're like, this is going to be awesome sauce, because I think it is. Now, because of the changes that Facebook has made, I don't see your comments here in StreamYard. So I'm going to be pulling up my phone. I'm not multitasking. I am checking on comments. So already I'm seeing some comments in here. So I'm going to do it. We're going old school here. So Lucy's here, Deb's here, Amanda's here, Jeanette's here. Awesome. Jagu's here. Lawanda's here. It's so good to see you all. I I love that Debbie says, I feel nothing. I go blank, numb, eyes glazed over. Help me! Exclamation point. That's back to the question about how do you feel about the algorithm. I love that, Debbie. That is so right on. Jeanette says, I'm excited to learn how to use the algorithm to my advantage. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, love seeing you all. Okay, if you've got questions as we go, do me a favor, because these lives usually get crazy with comments. Just type a capital Q. That way I can scan through and see which ones are questions and which ones are you guys just being like, awesome sauce, or whatever it is. Okay. All right. So let's dive in and talk about what is this algorithm all about? Okay. So in order to understand this thing, you have to understand what Facebook's mission is. And I'm sure it's been updated, and I'm sure it's quite elegant and it's wonderful and it's beautiful and all that. But at its core, what they are wanting to do is serve up valuable, quality content. They want to make sure that they are filling your feed with valuable, quality content. That's their objective. Okay. So how do they determine what is valuable, quality content? Engagement. They are looking at the engagement of others on a piece of content. So I'm just going to use this chapstick. Let's say this is a piece of content, whether it's a live video, I'm all about live video, but maybe it's just a post. How much engagement is this piece of content getting? That's what's going to determine how many people that algorithm serves it up to. Okay. That's the core foundational concept behind this thing. Okay. Even in your groups, there is an algorithm at work. Okay, so I hate to break it to you, but just in case, I just got to put this out here because I will make sure everybody hears me. Not everybody sees your content. So it's not that they're ignoring you. It's not that they don't like it. They're not even seeing it on their feed. Whether they're in your group or they're on your friends list or they're followers or whatever, not all of them sees each and every post that you put out there. I know, shocker in and of itself, but that's the game. That's how it works. So once you understand that, you're not going to change that. You're not going to change Facebook's mind and have them do something else. And all the complaining and whining and moaning and groaning about it, not going to change anything. So what you got to do instead is say, all right, I'm going to figure out what this thing does, how it works, and how do I use it to help me? Okay. So here's how it works. Now, these numbers are made up. These are not real numbers. Okay. But Facebook takes this piece of content, whatever it is, video, post, whatever. And it says, okay, I'm going to show this to 3 people. Let's see how 3 people react and respond to this content. Do they like it? Do they love it? Do they comment? Okay. Depending on what those 3 people do, Facebook says, all right, I'll show it to 6 people, and then 9 people, and then 12 people. Now that assumes that each little jump, those people do something. They comment, they like, they love, they do some sort of thing to interact. If they do not, then Facebook goes, this must not be very valuable. We're not going to show it to anybody else because it's not valuable, quality content. Okay. All right. So that being said, if you got questions on this, ask, because I'll check the comments for a second. What's most important is that you get your people commenting and engaging on your content. If you do that, then the algorithm takes care of it for you, and it's going to show it to more people and more people and more people. That's how it works. All right. Let me check comments. Make sure there's not questions on that, like foundational bit of information here. Uh-oh, I lost all my comments here. Okay. I'm not seeing anything, so I'm going to assume you're good. Okay. So all that being said, content is queen. Now, sometimes you hear people say content is king, but I like pink. I'm a girl. We're going to go with queen. Okay. Content is queen. What does that mean? That means if your content, where did my prop go? If your content is not juicy, irresistible stuff that people want, if they don't comment on it, people aren't seeing it. Okay. So you can complain that the algorithm isn't showing your content to people. But the reality is, it did show your content to a number of people. They didn't do anything with it. They didn't mark it as being important quality content. So Facebook went, okay, it doesn't meet. We're not going to show it to any more people. I know that stings. I know it stings. I know it stings, but it's the truth. Okay. So number one thing to do here in this whole situation is look at yourself. Am I putting out juicy, irresistible content that people want, not need, want? Okay. Need happens when people pay you and they're now in your container and they're in your programs or they're working with you one-on-one. That's where you get into what they need to do. But what they want, that's what's most important out here. Okay. So I'll give you a specific example. This is me being a little bit vulnerable. All right. So it is what it is. This weekend, as in just this past weekend, 4 days ago, 5 days, because it was on Saturday, I had my whole strategy mapped out for the month of May in this group. I knew what I was going to be talking about. I knew what I was going to be doing lives about. I had all my social media planned. I had the whole thing outlined. And I'm looking at it and I went, I don't think I'd show up for this. I don't think I'd show up for these events. I don't think I'd go to these lives. I don't think I would. So I had to take a harsh look at myself and be like, Jamie, you have the whole month planned and you're what? In the last minute here going to scrap everything? Yep, I am. Because it was not irresistible, juicy content that people would want. Now, that's harsh, and I'm not suggesting that you do this. What I'm suggesting is you look at this and you say, what is good quality content that people in my community, that people on my friend list, on whatever space you're focusing on, that they can't help themselves but comment and engage on. And I know that's hard because you're like, well, just tell me the answer. But it's not that simple. There's some strategy behind it. There's some philosophy behind it. There's getting to understand your ideal clients and what they want, not just what they need. Use their words. We could go into a whole thing around this, okay? But what I'm wanting to make sure that you do is you look at this and you say, what is my content strategy? What is it that I'm doing to make sure that I'm serving up? Let's go back to this. Where did it go? Valuable quality content, binge watchable, irresistible, juicy. Oh my gosh. We had a Go Live League call just before this. And this whole month in the Go Live League, we're talking about driving engagement. How do you get more people to watch your videos? How do you get more people to engage on your videos? And we one of the things that I said here is it almost needs to hurt a little bit. It almost needs to be like, okay, we're going to be talking about this. I can't believe I'm going to talk about this. I can't believe I'm going to share this. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I can't believe I'm going to give this away for free. When you start to feel that a little bit, you're on a track now. That's what starts to get this ball rolling, right? Because if this serves this up to 3 people and those 3 people go, you're dead in the water. Okay? I know it's harsh. Okay, it's harsh. If you got questions, let me know. All right, let's talk about engagement for the engagement's sake. What I'm talking about here is you can post something on your group, on your personal profile, that is just going to go crazy and you're going to get 127 comments. And it's stuff like, which way does your toilet paper go? Does it go this way or go this way, right? Or do you like cookies or brownies? And that stuff just goes crazy. And you think, why is that going nuts? And my content about my stuff gets nothing. This is why. Because maybe your content's not juicy enough. Which way does your toilet paper go? What do you like, cookies or brownies? That's irresistible. I can't help but comment. Here's what you got to realize. You got to realize that your people are sitting at home. Maybe they're on the sofa, maybe they're in bed, maybe they're in their comfy chair, maybe they're sitting outside in their patio, maybe they're on the floaty in the pool, right? And they're doing this. They're doing this. What's going to stop that scroll and get them to comment, engage, whether it's a post or a video? Takes a little bit of work, right? It's not as easy as just throwing stuff up. Okay. Yes, the fun stuff gets traction, but don't chase engagement for engagement's sake. I want you to be intentional, strategic, and purposeful with it. Okay, so when I say engagement for engagement's sake, what am I talking about? I'm talking about I'm going to do this fun post and I'm going to get a whole bunch of comments, but it doesn't help my business. It doesn't go anywhere. But it kind of does. Okay, I'm not advocating that you should do fun stuff every single day in your group. You don't want to be a joke, right? You have a business. You want to be talking about your stuff. But once in a while, that fun stuff boosts that algorithm. What happens is you post something like this, right? This is juicy. You like brownies? Brownies or cookies? Brownies or cookies? Which do you like? And now you get a whole bunch of your people talking about brownies or cookies. They're humans. We like talking about brownies versus cookies. I know I'm a brownie fan. No nuts though. Frosting occasionally. I can't help but comment, engage on that because it's fun for me. So what happens is the algorithm goes, ooh, all these people, they commented on Jamie's post about brownies. And now when I do a post that's more about my content, they also see it. There is a correlation between, now I need two prompts here. There's a correlation between the two. So there is value in doing that. And what I want you to think about, if you're sitting there and you're like, but that's such crap, it's such BS, it's just like there's no value in it. There's value to your people. They're human beings. Take a genuine interest in whether or not they like brownies or cookies. It's fun. We like fun things. Be fun. You're fun. It's okay to bring fun stuff into your business. We don't have to be all buttoned up and serious all the time. Okay. Again, am I advocating that you should do that every single day? No, I don't even do it once a week, but occasionally I do it because it's fun. Okay. So the other thing to talk about here on this whole engagement for engagement's sake is oftentimes you'll hear people talking about vanity metrics. Don't chase vanity metrics. Okay. So what we're talking about here is this whole idea of I do a post, brownies or cookies, and it gets 300 comments. And you start to go, oh my gosh, I had a post, got 300 comments, but it did nothing for me. It got me nowhere. Okay. You may have a piece of content that's a really good, awesome, valuable piece of content, and it only gets 3 comments and then it goes nowhere. But for those 3 people, it was the best thing they had that day. It was exactly what they needed to hear when they needed to hear it. So what I'm wanting you to make sure that you're understanding here with this algorithm is stop measuring all pieces of data, all pieces of posts, how every single post performs. They're not equal. Change your success measures. Okay. Facebook Lives, and I know I'm the Facebook Live person, but Facebook Lives get 10x the reach. 10x. Now, I think it's higher than that. I'm just quoting an actual validated statistic, but in my world, it's more than that. Okay. Live video gets 10x the reach. So why don't I just do Facebook Live every day? Like, there's my content strategy. I'll just go live 7 days a week because it gets the most reach. There we go. Problem solved. But it doesn't work that way. Because what happens is if you go live every single day, you're going to burn out. You're going to burn your audience out. They start to get live video fatigue. You may be going live too much, and that's what's creating the situation that you're in. So the reality is that you need to have some variety in your content. Okay. You need to have some photos. You need to have some graphics. You need to have some color block posts. You need to have some lives. You need to have some reels. You need to have a little bit of everything because those different things meet different people's needs that are in your group. The key is you got to measure them differently. Okay, I'll give you another example. Again, this is back on measuring. I have a program. We're actually getting ready to do the next one. It's called Ignite Your Facebook Group. It's a 12-week program. The next one runs June, July, and August. But when I was doing the one that we're doing right now, so this was March, April, May, I had two people sign up for that program. They had never commented on anything ever in my space ever. They'd never commented on anything. I didn't even recognize the name because they'd never commented on anything. They'd never been on a live. We'd never had any sort of interaction or engagement. And they just paid for this program. And you kind of go, what? Just because a piece of content doesn't get a whole lot of engagement doesn't mean that it didn't hit the target in terms of attracting your perfect person, your ideal client, to work with you. So there are a lot of coaches out there, and I know that, who will often say, if you've got people and they're dead weight and they're not commenting on your stuff, you get rid of them. That is crapola. There are a lot of people who just won't engage. It's just not in their nature. That doesn't mean they don't see the post and find value in that. So there's a little bit that has to come in here of just blind faith that the right people are going to see your content. Okay, so stop worrying about it. Stop worrying about the algorithm. Stop overthinking all of that. If you will simply mix up your content, make sure it is juicy, awesome content that people actually want. Stop measuring everything the same. You're going to be off on the right foot. You're going to get ahead of this. Okay? Okay. While we are talking about content and strategy, I mentioned this in another video the other day, but I don't know if you all know Jagu. She's in this group. I'm not doing another version of Spark. Spark Your Social Strategy is where I teach about how you come up with your social strategy, your social media strategy inside your Facebook group. I'm going to do another one until June or July. And she don't want to wait. She wants to do one now. So she's like, I'm going to find people. We're going to do it. So she's on this mission to like get people to do it. She wants to start one in May. So I will do it in May. I think she needs 1 or 2 more people. I can't remember to join. So if this whole idea of what am I posting and how do I figure out a strategy and how do I master all of this is a challenge for you, then Spark may be something that you want to join. Again, I'm going to do one this summer for sure. But if you want to get it sooner than later, let me know. Reach out to Jagu. Like I said, she's trying to get a little something going. It's so fun. If you want to know more about Spark, just in the comments, just type the word Spark. Let me see here. I think I had Spark. And I will make sure you get all of the details. Okay. Spark, by the way, is $197. It's $197 4-week group coaching program. Okay. The other thing that I want to talk about here, back on this whole variety and strategy. Well, where did it go? I did a video, oh my gosh, has it been a month ago? 2 months ago? 2 months ago? On why you need to stop posting all those graphics. Now, this is not a slam on Canva. I love Canva. I just renewed my annual pro version of Canva. It is absolutely amazing. But graphics get the lowest reach on Facebook. Now, this question comes up a lot. And by the way, if you want that whole video, just type the word Canva in the comments. Just type Canva and I'll know what that means. And I'll make sure I get you the link to that particular video. But let's go back to this whole reach concept. Everything that you're going to post has got a pecking order, if you will. Okay. Now, I've already said live video 10x. It's clear up here at the top. Posts. Content, static content, all the way down here at the bottom. Live video 10x, what this is. Okay. But inside this content, the post that you do, there is an order. Which ones get most least. Okay. And the very, very bottom is anything with an external link. If it is taking somebody off of Facebook, it gets the lowest possible reach. Okay. That doesn't mean that you don't want to have promotional posts with the link in the content to make it easy for people to buy. But you got to change your measurement of success. When you do a promotional post and it's a graphic and it's got a link right in it, it's going to get the lowest possible reach. But for the people who need it, it's everything where they need it. So stop. You don't want to stop doing that. You just want to reset your measurements. Okay. Now, all of the different orders, and that's that video that I was talking about. They all get different reach, but Canva, it's not Canva in particular. I'm not bashing Canva. Please, Canva, I love you. Graphics are second to the bottom. Anything with a link, worst. Graphics, next worst. Why? Because we feel like we're being promoted. We feel like we're being sold to. As much as I love Canva graphics, some of y'all put too many words inside those graphics. It's like you're wanting that content, that graphic to be everything. And it's not. It's too much. Can't read it. Remember, your people at home, they're on this tiny little thing. They can't read all that. They don't want to read all that. So you know what they do? Scroll right on by. Scroll right on by. Okay? So what I'm saying in here around changing your success measures and making sure that you have your strategy right and understanding how these things work is don't just have graphics in your Facebook group. It's the worst, lowest reach. You got to have that mix up. You got to have different variety. Okay. Your people, they start to tune it out. It's kind of like commercials, right? Commercials come on when you're watching your favorite show and you just kind of like, you don't even hear it. Like it's just not even happening. Some of you probably pay to not have commercials, right? But we have fatigue over the commercials. We don't even hear it. We don't even see it. We start other conversations. We pick up our phone and we do something else during commercials. Okay. That's what's happening with all your graphics too. Okay. So create different content. See how the content and the algorithm and the engagement and all of this stuff kind of all fits together and comes together. Okay. I know this is a head trip, but I'm hoping this is starting to give you some ahas where you're like, see how this works. Starting to understand it a little bit better. Okay. If you got questions, drop them. I'm going to take a second. I'm going to check comments and make sure I haven't missed anything else here. Okay. Let's see here. You guys love the juice. You love the light, fun stuff. So fun. Okay. Lucy says, I post my profile full of fun things and business content in my group. Should I? Yeah. Do others. Mix it up, right? There's no rule. I'm just going to be so crystal clear here. I almost spilled my water. There's no rule that says business is boring, serious stuff. If you have that mindset, that's probably why you're not getting much engagement. Business can be fun. There's a comedian out there. He does this little bit and he says, if you want to see something funny, ask a child, a smaller child, a younger child, to pretend to be an adult. The first thing they do is go, and they get all serious. Because they think that as adults, that's how we have to be is super serious. No. Have fun. Enjoy what you do. Now, I know some of you have businesses where you are talking about hard stuff and serious stuff. You can still have moments of levity. You can still bring joy in. In fact, giving those people that may be dealing with tough things, giving them some hope and some inspiration might be valuable. So yes, mix up the fun stuff. Right? And on your profiles, start posting business stuff on your profiles. There's this outdated notion that we can't post our business stuff on our personal profile. No, Facebook made a whole change. I'm going to do a live. It's probably going to be next month. I'm going to do a whole live on personal profiles. We're going to talk more about this. But you can, especially if you turn on creator mode, you can use your personal profile and just talk about business. But why would you? Balance between the two, right? Even within your content, you need to balance two things. You need to balance engagement with you showing up as an authority. If you're only doing engagement, you're not probably selling much. If you're only doing promoting and you showing up as an authority, you're probably not selling much because people aren't engaged. They're not connected to you. They're not connected to the content. You got it both. Okay. Soapbox over. Soapbox moment over. Let me see if there are any other questions in here. Hold on. I'm scanning. Jeanette's looking forward to Ignite. Me too. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so awesome. Everybody who's in Ignite right now, they're just absolutely loving it. Okay. Oh, it's good to see some new faces. Hi, everybody. Hi. Okay. Jagu says she just needs one more for Spark. Okay. Did you see that Fayana is maybe interested? I don't know if you saw that. So I don't know if she's your one or you need that, or that is your one. Okay. Jeanette says she loves Spark. Sherry says Spark is so worth it. Do the work and it pays off. Exactly, Sherry. That's what this whole thing is about, right? It's about doing the right work in the right ways. And oftentimes it's a teeny tiny tweak you need to make that changes everything. Okay. Aha moments. Yes. Love it. Okay. I don't see any more comments or questions, so we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. Okay. Where was I at? Okay. We were talking about balancing engagement with authority, making sure that you have a little bit of both. And again, on that content, you want juicy, irresistible, binge-worthy. It's got hurt a little bit. It's a little bit like, I can't believe I'm giving this away for free. Now you know you're on track. Okay. All right. Next, let's talk about Facebook as an ecosystem. What do I mean by this? It means you've got all these parts and components that make up Facebook, right? You've got Facebook profiles, you've got pages, you've got groups, you've got reels, you've got lives, you've got content posts, you got polls and all the different things. You got all these elements in here, right? You've got Messenger, you've got I know I'm forgetting some, but you got all these parts and pieces, right? If you use all of them, like those gears that I talked about in the beginning, the whole machine moves forward faster. Okay? So if you're only posting content and you're not doing anything else, that machine's not moving forward very fast. And that may be one of the struggles that you're having. Okay? So start doing some of these other parts and pieces. The other thing that I will say is, and I know that we can tend to have FOMO, fear of missing out. So I recognize that FOMO is a real thing. I have it myself from time to time. But I will tell you, one of the best things, one of the best decisions I ever made in my business was to stop worrying about being on all the different platforms. And as soon as I focused in and I said, I'm just going to focus on being on Facebook and Facebook's going to be my jam, my business took off because I could play with more of the things inside that. Okay. So if you are taking and creating a piece of content, where'd my chapter go? And you're saying, okay, got that created, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, blah, 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 I'm gonna put it in all the places. But you're not spending time engaging in all of the other things in that platform. You only got one gear turning. As soon as you stop and you say, I'm gonna get all the gears turning in one platform, it doesn't have to be Facebook, it can be Instagram, it can be LinkedIn, wherever you're wanting to go. It will perform better for you. There are millions with an M, probably B. There's probably billions of people on Facebook, on any given single platform. I promise you, there is enough people on that one platform for you to make a living. You don't have to be in all the places, but we have FOMO. And then we have all these marketers, these great marketers out there telling you that you're missing out if you're not doing reels on Instagram. And you're missing out if you're not doing whatever over on whatever. Not true. Not true. Go all in on one. You will thank me, I promise. Resist the temptation. That doesn't mean ignore those other places, although I have been ignoring LinkedIn. It means use the tools that are available, right? When I post on my personal profile, it goes on my Instagram page. And it may not be every single post because every single post of mine is not a graphic or a photo, right? I do color blocks a lot and those don't transfer over to Instagram, but there's at least something going out on Instagram. But all my focus is on Facebook and I use all the parts and pieces that are available to me inside this Facebook ecosystem. If you don't believe me on this, I'm going to challenge you to do a little experiment. Okay? Okay. What I want you to do, and I'm going to use me as an example. You don't have to use me because I don't want anybody. This morning, I used an example in our Go Live League call, and they all accused me of being selfish to pump up my own posts. So I get how this sounds. Okay, but I promise you that's not my intention behind it. Okay. I want you, if you've not already commented on this video, okay, comment. I don't care if it's gobbledygook. It can be gibberish. Just comment something in this live, okay? And then I want you to comment on something either in the Facebook group or more importantly, comment on something on my profile, okay? And then I want you to pick up your phone and I want you to message me. I don't care what it is. You can just say, hey, or you can tell me whether you like brownies or cookies. It doesn't matter what the content is. But what I'm wanting you to do is touch multiple different parts of this ecosystem. And if you don't, like I said, if you don't want to do it for me, pick somebody else that's in this group or in this community that's a business that's not your best friend from high school. Okay. Although I guess for the experiment you could. But my point is, then I want you to watch what happens in your feed. Because what's going to happen is you comment on this video in this group, you comment on something on my personal profile, and you send me a DM. All of a sudden, you're going to be like, Jamie in your feed. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, this woman's everywhere. She's everywhere. No, I'm not. It's the algorithm helping you out here. It is the equivalent of you saying to Facebook, by me doing this, by me commenting on this video and commenting on this post and then messaging her, I like her. I want to see more of her stuff. And so the algorithm goes, oh, you want more of her stuff? Okay, here. That's the algorithm at work. Okay. So once you've done this experiment for yourself, don't believe me on this. I want you to just do it. Doesn't have to be me. You can pick somebody else. Okay. You can pick who's on here. You could pick Amanda, Jeanette, Jagu. Who else is on here? Lucy, Sherry, Darlene. Pick one of them. And then watch how much more of their stuff you see. Okay. So from this experiment, reverse engineer it. What can you do to make sure that more of your members see your content and vice versa? The more you are engaging with them, the more active you are with them in all of the different parts and places, the more of the stuff you're going to see of theirs and they're going to see of yours. So this is the harsh part, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you're spending your time on your personal profile, commenting on your family and your friends from high school or your college girlfriends, and you're not commenting on anybody else's stuff, you create this very narrow ecosystem, this very teeny tiny space. And what happens is you're basically communicating to Facebook, these are my people right here, these just them. So what's happening is Facebook is showing your content only to those people. They're not your business people, right? Your best friend from high school is not your client. So if you start to change your behaviors on Facebook, on whose content you engage on, I'm not saying don't engage on your family stuff. I'm saying, what is your percentage of time? If you start to shift that, watch what happens. Watch what happens. Okay. I could go on and on the personal profile, but I won't because I know so many of you are like so on the opposite side of this. I was too. I was clutching on to that personal profile for dear life. And as soon as I let that go, and as soon as I started using my personal profile as a tool for my business took off. Okay. Any questions? I'm going to scroll through on this whole idea of the ecosystem and what you do. Let me scan for questions. Just make sure I haven't missed anything here. Hold on. Okay, Sherry says, it's just like the ads. Now all of a sudden you see more of those ads, right? There's all sorts of memes where the wife goes over to Alexa and says, diamond earrings into Alexa, right? Because she's wanting Facebook and all the other players to hear that and start showing that content as sponsored ads on her husband's phone. That's the algorithm at work. Okay. When you go, they're all connected. And I know it's scary and it starts to be a little like, what? But that's why you're like, you search for something on Google. And then the next thing you know, you've got all of these ads in Facebook on the thing that you searched. It gets creepy until you recognize what's happening. And then you go, I'm going to use this for me. I barely even Google anymore. Sometimes all I have to do is just make an inquiry. And then I know the ads will just show up there. Like if I can't find something, so ridiculous. I'm so off on a tangent here. But like there was this cool desk thing and I couldn't find it. It was just awesome. And I knew I saw it on Facebook, but where did I see it? I don't know. And so I just started like Googling or searching even in Facebook for like cool chairs. And then what do you know? The ad just shows up. That's the algorithm. Okay. So having said all of this, how the heck do you use all this information? How do you apply it? What do we do with all of this knowledge now that we have it? Okay. So I'm going to give you just some kind of highlight things here. Okay. Number one, man, look at your content. Is it juicy, irresistible, binge worthy? Are you mixing up the variety? Do you have a strategy for your content or are you just throwing spaghetti at the wall and going like, let's see if it works? Okay. Content, focus on your content. Okay. Number two, connect with new people. Make sure you're adding new people into your group. Make sure that you are engaging in the whole ecosystem with new friends. Comment on their stuff. If you get new members in your group, go stalk them. Go check out what they're all about. Check their profiles. Check what their business is all about. Take a genuine interest in them as people. Okay, so the contacting and the connecting, it all goes together. Number three, be active. The more active you are on all of the different parts inside a single platform, the more well-oiled that whole machine becomes. Okay, doesn't mean you have to do it all the time. I'm just saying sprinkle it in a little bit. Be strategic. Okay. Now that you know that this is how this works, let's be smart about it. Okay. If I'm going to be live at 2:00, what can I do in the morning to bump up that algorithm so more people see that live? I'm going to do something fun. I'm going to do something that's high engaging. Because if they engage on this, then they're going to more of chances of we're going to see this one later this afternoon. Okay. The other thing you can do in this whole same space, and this is probably a little bit of being active and being strategic, right? Comment on stuff in your group before you're going to have something go out. Okay, let me say that, make sure that's clear. If you've got a promo post in the afternoon, or you've got a live in the afternoon, or something that you want more people to see, an hour before that, you need to be super flippin' active in your group. Responding to comments, engaging to comments, replying. Any of that. It doesn't have to be a new post. It can just be commenting on other people's comments inside other posts. That just spins the whole thing up. So this is what I mean by be strategic. You can also be looking at when do you post certain things in your group. Boy, I am super active with my hands today. I cannot wait to see what my steps are today, because I haven't moved from my chair, but I've been so active with my hands. I'm gonna hit 10,000, I bet, today. Anyway, I got to sit on my hands maybe a little bit. The whole point here is be strategic with how you use this as a tool. I just thought Darlene said, dude, I just think something and then it shows up. Yep, I hear you. It's time to be more strategic, right? The other thing that I hear from a lot of people is, I just look at what's on my feed. Yep, be more strategic. Go into groups. Be more active in certain spaces. The more active you are in those spots, the more your posts will show up to people. I'll give you a perfect example. I did a live in somebody else's group last week, and I got to be honest. I have not really been engaging in that group. I hadn't been engaging for weeks in that group. And my video, which was juicy, awesome, irresistible stuff, nobody saw it. So if you're taking opportunities to be active in other people's groups, you can go live every Wednesday in this group, right? But if you just go live every Wednesday and you don't participate in anything else at any other point, not very many people are going to see that video. Be more engaged. Be strategic about where you're spending your time, okay? Last one, analyze and evaluate. You've got data at your fingertips inside your group on your profile. Look and pay attention to what's working and what's not. Are there certain days of the week? Are there certain times of the week? Is some piece of content working better than another? And be strategic about how you move those things around so that it best serves you. This is what I mean by putting the algorithm to work for you. Okay. A lot today. Yes? Hopefully I kept it in terms of simple terms and not too terribly overwhelming. I'm going to check and see if there are any other questions. Now is the point to ask questions if you got them. I will answer them if you have them. Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions. So what I would say is this. Actually, let me cover these couple quick things and then we'll wrap up. Next week, same time and same place, we will be talking about how do you create community in your Facebook group. How do you make your Facebook group a place that people want to hang out in and spend time in? Okay, that's next week. For those of you who are in the Go Live League, this is my monthly membership. By the way, there's a flash sale on that. You can join the month of May for $10. $10 gets you in for the whole month of May. What I'm hoping you're seeing is that the content we're covering here inside this Get on Camera group is really nice complement to what we're covering in the Go Live League. So I would recommend looking at both of those and making sure you're picking and choosing what serves you best. Okay. All right. I have mentioned Ignite Your Facebook Group a couple of times during this session. Ignite Your Facebook Group is a 12-week group coaching program that's going to run June through August. I do not have anything ready to go. Okay. Not at all. A little bit behind because I had to scramble and redo all my content since I changed my plan on Saturday. But if this is something you just want more information on, if you will just type Ignite in the comments, I will make sure that you go on my wait list. There's no commitment, no requirement, anything like that. I'm just wanting to make sure that I get you the information. I am going to be doing an early bird special on that. Even though we're not starting till June, I'm going to do an early bird special here this month. So there's more to come on that. Okay. Let me just make sure there are no more questions. Hang on here. Hold on. Let me just make sure I haven't missed anything. Okay. So my call to action for all of you, my ask of all of you today is this. What one thing are you going to do different as a result of all of this? Let me create a banner here. What one thing will you do? Well, that I have spelling errors like nobody's business. Okay. What one thing did you learn today that you're going to implement? Just one. I don't want you to try and implement all of it. You'll overwhelm yourself. Lots of stuff in here. You don't have to do all of it, but I want you to find the one thing that we talked about today that you're like, I can do that. Start with that. The reason I want you to type it, yes, helps the algorithm, right? For sure. But more than that, it holds you accountable. When you put it in writing, when you type it out, it's almost like you're putting your word out and saying, I got to do this now. It helps to drive some accountability around taking that step. Okay. My hope is that today you've learned a few things. Maybe you've not mastered the algorithm, because I don't know that mastery of that thing is possible. I bet even the hundreds of thousands of people that work on that can't even say that they've mastered it, right? But I'm hoping that you now understand the concept behind it. And you understand some of the tactics, or at least the things that you need to look at to start to boost your group, to start to get it to the point where it is this awesome community that everybody wants to hang out in and everyone wants to be part of. Remember, I told you at the beginning of this, my Facebook group 2 years ago, dead. I was ready to shut it down. And now it is super active and super engaged, and people are, and it has taken me a lot of work. But I'm hoping I can save you some of that time and I can help you get there faster. That's my mission. But what I want to say on this algorithm is this. Don't let the algorithm be a barrier. I think I have a thing on this, don't I? Yeah. Don't let the algorithm be a barrier to your success. Don't stop complaining about it. Stop moaning and groaning about it. Stop blaming it. Instead, look at it and say, how can I outsmart this thing? How do I use it as a tool that actually helps me? How do I be strategic and intentional and purposeful and actually have this thing help me? So that the next time I ask the question and I say, how do you feel about the algorithm? Instead of giving me gifts that are like confused and frustrated and you're going to be like, boo, it's the awesome best thing since sliced bread, because you now know how to use it. You know how to use it. All right. Thank y'all for being here. This was a long one. I don't normally go this long on these lives. Normally it's like 30 minutes and we've been going almost an hour. But lots of good stuff. I hope this was valuable. I hope you found a lot of value in it. And I hope to see you on a future live coming up here soon. All right, everybody. Bye. Have a good weekend. Bye.